This is the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You're inside Jamaica Magazine.
Encouraging the information flow, sharing the news and views you need to know.
We are building an informed Jamaica every day.
Listening to what you say.
It's Wednesday, November 18. Thanks so much for opening the covers of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Alison Watson. Coming up, Prime Minister urges speedy passage of new Charter of Rights Bill, proposals for new taxi and bus fares for Cabinet next week, and new marketing campaign for Jamaican products to be rolled out in Europe next January. Later, you've seen us, heard us, but do you really know what we're about? Stay with us. The news in details after this break.
This is my appeal, Jamaica. Give blood for it.
Give blood and give the gift of life. So safe you don't have to think twice. Do what you can for one another.
Yeah, man.
Be a hero, be a blood donor.
Yeah, me people. Watch it.
Give blood.
For your sister and the brother, save the life of another. You might never know.
Give blood.
Cause you know my life, you love many people want blood. The Father says so.
One blood.
Sign up today. Be a blood donor. Many people. One blood.
And now the news. It will take another 3 months before the new Charter of Rights Bill can be approved. The House of Representatives wrapped up its debate on the bill yesterday and made 5 amendments. However, the legislation must remain on the table of the House until it receives the necessary 2/3 majority votes. That is expected to happen in mid-February. After that, the Senate will debate and vote on the bill passed by the lower house. Prime Minister Bruce Golding closed the debate yesterday and urged members not to delay passing the important constitutional changes.
One of the things that we have to try to avoid is getting into a situation now where failure to agree on some of those things that are sort of being introduced fresh would prevent us from going forward. I really would like to see if we could get an agreement. Let us lift out those things that can be dealt with by us in Parliament, on which we agree, and let us proceed.
Under the Constitution, if the bill does not secure a 2/3 majority vote, it can be put to the people. The Charter of Rights Bill will repeal and replace Chapter 3 of the Constitution. It makes provisions for life, liberty and security of individuals, as well as freedom of expression, assembly and association, and respect for private and family life. A marketing campaign for Jamaican products will be rolled out in Europe next January. The announcement was made yesterday by Industry, Investment and Commerce Minister Carl Samuda. He was addressing a buyers' trade fair hosted by the Jamaica Fashion and Apparel Cluster and the Authentic Jamaican and Gift Craft Cluster. The details from Andrea Chisholm.
The government is leaving no stones unturned to find a new market for Jamaican products. This in keeping with the drive to grow the Jamaican economy by boosting production. The marketing campaign for Europe is expected to significantly aid those efforts.
You can't individually collect yourselves enough money to go out and market your own product just by yourself. What we need to do is we need to trod the pavements of Europe and North America. We need to create a virtual army of Jamaican representatives out there selling Jamaican products.
The London-based Jamaica marketing company Jamco will be leading the campaign. Minister Samuda says that as the process of developing Brand Jamaica continues, a committee has been established to develop a set brand for Jamaican products.
There is nothing that can stop us from competing in the most competitive markets of the world. We don't have any space to entertain negative thoughts at this time.
Colombia, New Zealand and South Africa were given as examples of countries who were able to gain mileage in the productive sector through specific branding. For JIS News, I'm Andrea Chisholm.
The Ministry of Transport and Works is now reviewing the recommendations for new bus and taxi fares. The Office of Utilities Regulations has suggested increased rates based on their discussions with the public transport operators. The minister responsible for transport, Mike Henry, has confirmed receipt of the OUR's recommendations. He says the proposals should be ready for Cabinet next week. Taxi groups have asked for their rates to be increased by between 20 and 30%. The OUR is recommending 17%. The JUTC, meanwhile, wants a $20 addition to the fare for regular adult commuters. The company also wants the fare for concessionary groups to move up from $15 to $20. This would affect school children, the disabled and the elderly. The OUR's recommendations for the JUTC is to base the bus fares on the company's operating costs. This proposal was initially made in 2005 and would work out to be much higher than the levels of increase now being sought by the JUTC. JUTC last received a fare increase in 2005, while taxi and private bus operators got a 25% increase as recently as last year. Members of the public can now make reports to any police station. Previously, reports had to be made to the station assigned to man-specific communities, but that is no more.
I come on and receive a lot of reports that persons were attending stations to make various reports, and they were being turned away by the persons at these stations, saying that the reports were not concerned their jurisdiction. The report should be taken, and if even a statement need to be taken at that time, it should be done and submitted or transferred to the relevant station.
Superintendent Francis said if that does not happen, persons can lodge a complaint with the Police High Command. A new line, 906-5325, was set up on Monday to take those complaints, while a toll-free line is to be put in place soon. Superintendent Francis is also encouraging individuals to ensure that they receive a JCF customer reference form as proof of their reports.
This form, as on things like the nature of the report, the day, date and time it was reported to the police, the reference number, the regulation number, and name of the person who took the report.
If you've never been a part of your Neighborhood Watch group, it's a good time to get involved. That's according to the National Neighborhood Watch Secretariat, which is trying to rebrand and reposition the movement across the country. President of the Secretariat, Delroy Dobney, says it is taking a new approach as it fights the anti-informer culture. He says Neighborhood Watch groups must change their strategy.
Our primary focus to date is shifting to one that seeks to foster development in communities, focusing on the social issues, because we know that the social conditions in community does factor in in crime, because when a community is not engaged, especially the young persons and older persons in cases, usually get involved in acts which they deem to be acts of survival. And, one of the popular trends is that a man have to eat a food.
Mr. Dobney says this is why total transformation is necessary and every citizen must embrace the need for change. The Secretariat President says they want to create effective relationships among police, citizens and civic groups where people see positive things happening.
So often we go to communities and yes, there exists an area commander. Yes, there exist police stations within the proximities of those communities or in those communities, yet there is no social change. There's a political stakeholders, and in some cases the communities even get worse.
There are more than 600 neighborhood watch groups across Jamaica. The restructuring of the public sector is not just about job cuts. That's the word from Civil Service Association President Wayne Jones. He was addressing the official launch of Civil Service Week on Tuesday. The statement comes at a time when a modernization team in the Office of the Prime Minister is seeking to restructure the public sector.
Many of us have worked in the one job for many years, and therefore we have not been able to realize our real potential. See the restructuring exercise as an opportunity to realize that potential. Do not be burdened by some of the reports you see in the media. The suggestions that this is simply about cuts is a misleading one.
State Minister in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, Senator Arthur Williams, had a word